Hello, everyone. Hello, this is Jessie Bowen with the Become an Author podcast. We are excited today because we're bringing forth another great interview of an author and martial artist. So, we have the Martial Arts Extraordinary podcast. So we're going to probably see this on both because, as a martial artist, he's done an extraordinary job. As an author, he's got a book out. And so we're going to be interviewing him today and talk a little bit about his book, but just to discover, the martial artists and that decision to become authors. We're trying to really promote the community that everyone has a story and you can make the world a better place by sharing your story. I was talking with someone a few moments ago and, an older martial artist who's renowned and is sort of, to the sideline and everybody wants their privacy. But in the legacy is that we all can help someone else make a difference through our story. And so that's what we really want to do. And we have today Grandmaster Shane Murray. Hey, sir, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you, Jesse?
I'm doing great. I'm waiting for your book to pop up here on the screen. So everybody, we can have that out in front the whole show.
All right.
Look at that. It's magic. It pops
it looks
up
great.
there.
Yeah.
Again, thank you. I know you have a very busy schedule. Thank you for being on our podcast. You got a great article in our martial arts magazine. So everyone, check out the new edition of the Martial Arts Extraordinary magazine. Now, this is an updated copy of the magazine. So if you purchased a copy about a month ago, that was sort of like, our edition 1. This is our edition 2 of the same magazine, but we use magazine marketing as a powerful tool to help martial artists, number one, promote themselves in the community. Number 2, share their ideas, thoughts, and their projects. And this is a, marketing magazine. So a marketing magazine is to do exactly what it's doing. We want you to know, about Grandmaster Murray and make a connection, make a friend with him. We also want to thank our sponsors, which is Elite Publications, and that's elitepublications.org, and the American Martial Arts Alliance Foundation and Institute for helping to bring forth this program today. So, sir, tell us a little bit about you, and let's start with you. Then I'm going to take and we'll go into the book and everyone. Is this book on Amazon?
It is. Yeah, definitely.
All right, great. So everyone, go on over to Amazon and remember, get a copy, of the book. And if you got questions, please leave a review. A lot of times people buy books, they buy magazine. Leave a review. I'm hoping that you're going to leave a positive review. So, go get a copy of the book while this program is going on. Run over to Amazon and get your copy. So remember, go ahead and do that. So, sir, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in upstate New York. A lot of people, when you hear New York, they think of the city and stuff. I'm way up in the woods, up in the Adirondacks, closer to Canada than I am the city. So it's cold and snowy, and it's where I grew up. I was kind of a quiet kid growing up, kept to myself, and didn't really open up till I went off to college. Went up to college up in the Northeast too here, and even closer to Canada. And once I did that, I took a job right out of college with a retail store and said, "Hey, take me any place in the country you want." And oddly enough, they stuck me right back home. So, I expected to travel and be able to experience being in my 20s, and I ended up right back where it was. So I took it as some kind of message or omen, and I've been here ever since. So I've lived in the Northeast here my whole life. So after that management job, I got into automotive sales and then management, and I've been doing that for over 20 years. So
oh, wow.
We're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you share your journey into the martial arts and how it inspired you to write write the book, a Taekwondo Bond with Spirit Within.
Yeah, my story very similar to a lot. I don't want to give too much away because there's a little bit about my story in the book. So I'd like people to obviously pick it up and read it. But
Absolutely.
I got in as a young guy, teenager, not really knowing what to expect, and stuck with it longer than most. And here I am, 52 years old, still plugging along at it, still working towards that next belt, still teaching, still trying to carry out, what happened so many years ago with us there. So,
Well, the study of the martial arts is a very powerful tool, and I meet parents and individuals who are not studying the martial arts, and the very first thing I say to them that find a great teacher, get your kids involved, into the martial arts. If you're looking for something for personal empowerment, then the martial arts is that tool. Of course, I always state that finding a good teacher is the absolute key to doing that. So who was your instructor?
So over the years, I've had many different instructors. I started off with a husband and wife team that were direct lineage to my grandmaster Byung Choi. He has since passed, but I studied under a couple under him for many years. And when they decided not to carry on, I went to his school, worked with him for many years, and then we reconnected later in life. He actually lived local, so it was really nice. I was very fortunate that I didn't have to travel super far. And our relationship changed over time. It definitely went from less of an instructor, more of a mentor. And, he's somebody who we went out and had coffee with and met with regular, and would give advice, not just martial arts related, but very, very much life lessons, and from somebody that, I looked up to so many years. Those are life lessons that stuck with me, since I was young.
When I shared a story that, with my teacher, Sensei Jan Wellendorf, who's the founder of the Karate International franchise here in North Carolina, that experience, I had at 21 getting involved in the martial arts. No one had ever talked to me about goal setting. No one had ever talked to me about prosperity, all the things that I guess that I have today that I try to share back. No one had ever spoken to me about that. It was my martial arts instructor. The first book he ever gave me to read was Think and Grow Rich. So you can tell, by the mindset, he was in the martial arts business, but it was really the inspiration. And I've tried to carry that on, with my students, is to be a mentor, even though that I'm not teaching or running a school right now. I still have hundreds of students, all over the country that, inbox me. We're friends on Facebook. And I leave that door open of opportunity to share. And that's the power of being a martial artist, that you've got that person in your life. And that person in my life, of course, is my teacher. And I've had many other mentors to actually, help me in life and to be able to support me. So what was the inspiration, around, behind your book? Everyone, they have an idea. A lot of folks don't act on that idea. So what was the key inspiration that got you to write your book?
Well, my wife had a little bit of part in it. She's gentle nudging me to do it. I talked about it quite a bit over time, and as being a black belt, you're required to write thesis and stuff as you grow in the art. And so writing things down and kind of putting concepts together was something that, I kind of gotten practice to, had to do for, several times for different achievements. But I really started to put some stuff down, and I kicked it around, but I said, I don't know. And just like you were saying with the lessons, there's so many lessons that come out of martial arts, and, everybody, wants to try it. Very few stick with it though, but it's it changes over the course of your life, the lessons that you learn. And, we live in a society where, religion has kind of gone to the wayside. A lot of people don't believe or don't practice anymore. They need something to believe in. They need something to guide them. Like you were just talking about with your mentor, you really need that guidance, and martial arts can provide that for so many people. And, I wanted to share a little bit of my story about how it helped me. And, it not only helped me as a young person, but even as I got older, a lot of struggles in life, it really helped me overcome so much. Helped me in my work, helped me in my relationships, and things like that.
And that's really what we're talking about, and that message that we're trying to send to martial artists or anyone is that everyone has a story. You just have to get it out, and your story can impact someone else's life. We're all looking for solutions. We're all looking for answers to things in our lives, and we're all looking for motivation. So taking that first step of making understand that you have a message, and then how do you deliver that message? How do you deliver that message to influence parents to come to your martial arts school or be a part of your business? And I know that you're featured in our magazine, the Martial Arts Extraordinaire, and everyone, that magazine is also on Amazon. You can also go to our Who's Who in the Martial Arts .com website, and we have a store there, and you can get a copy of the magazine. The magazine there. This is the cover of the magazine, so you can go again on Amazon, and you can Google my name, Jessie Jessie Bowen, or you can Google Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine, and it would show up there. And and Grandmaster, he has a great article in there, so check it out, and we're going to repost that article online so everybody can get a chance to be able to see it. So, but yeah, that's what we really want to say to our audience, our out there, is that it's about legacy, and this is what Elite Publications has been about. To become an author is just another platform to give our authors a voice, but becoming an author can be exciting. It can be life-changing. And everyone that starts to write, they want to write, but that's not really a place that you really have to start if you want to do a book and don't get frustrated and decide you don't want to do it. The very first thing you do, if you're going to make a decision you want to write, is create an outline, because most people write and then you have to go back and sort of figure out, what are you writing to? It's like one great big message out there, and then you have to take another 6 months to figure out exactly where everything fits. So my tip for today, for those people that want to write a book, so remember, sit down with your pen and paper. How many chapters? If you're going to have 6 chapters, put a name to those chapters, and then as you're writing, then you're writing specifically to that particular chapter. And there's so many great tools out there to be able to help you write. And if you're having issues with writing, or if you're needing support in your writing, again, you can reach out to Elite Publications and we can help you. And that's www.elitepublications.org. And just put a message in there that for us to give you a call, and we'd be more than happy to be able to do that. So, in becoming an author, how does this influence your martial arts career and your personal growth?
It's kind of put it in a book format. You're talking about everybody having a voice and having a story. I didn't realize until later in life that I was I was preaching the same lessons that I grew up on from my instructors. And as I did it in class, we would talk about these little incidences that happened that we grew as a person from, or we grew as a martial artist from. And our students, and when I'm referring to our, this is my father, because my father obviously was a big part of my life in martial arts. Book contains a lot about him, so make sure you pick it up and read it and see the connection there. But we really had all these stories that we told all the time, and the students would be so fascinated, and they would just be like, oh, that really happened, I can't believe it. All the old school martial arts days, kicking shins together, and sparring out in the dirt, and lots of good little stories. And uh I just finally decided that after telling enough of the stories that I should put it together so they can actually see, because, one day, when I'm not able to stand up there and teach it, they can still read about it and still hear how we learned and how we started off and the things that we had to overcome as students. And, it's not easy being a martial artist. It's a big commitment. And most people, can't persevere long enough, but life gets in the way. That's the biggest obstacle. A lot of people ask me, what do you do and how do you stay in it so long? I said, the hardest part is committing the time. It's just saying these days a week, I'm going to go and do it no matter what else is going on in my life. You miss birthday parties, you miss family functions. Sometimes you got to make compromises at work, but you do it because it's important. And I hope that the book shows that some of the values that you do gain from it outweigh the little things that you may miss along the way.
Wow. Well, I'm excited for you and everything that you're actually doing. And again, Elite Publications and the Becoming an Author podcast really want to support you. So we're going to put some information out there on our other platforms and send out an email, really help you to promote your book and impact in your life and your community. The key thing that holds people back a lot of time from writing is they ask that question, what do I write on? Well, write from where you are. Where are you in life? If your story, your martial arts journey and the people in your journey or what you've learned, right from there. If you're a person that's good in goal setting and you have a message about goal settings, then, write a book on it. I write a book on everything. I've got over 30 books, but that's just shares. There's over 30 things that I've done. And so I write a book on everything. If I'm,
That's awesome.
Just like a goal setting, as I've got my vision board up. I've got my goals. I study goals. I meditate on my goals. So guess what? I've got a book out on goal setting. I'm a bowler. I'm a professional bowler, a former bowling coach at Duke University. So guess what I have? I have a book on bowling. So, so whatever I'm doing, this is a very interesting thing for people to think about. What's going on in your life? If you realize that something is happening in your life and you need to fix it, then you need a guide. And that's what my last book that I wrote was really on. It was on procrastination. And procrastination comes when you become burnout and so much going on, and as you were saying about our martial arts journey, I'm coming up my 50th year in the martial arts. So, how do you continue to do that? Well, we all reach burnout, and burnout creates procrastination. It makes you fatigue. It makes you make bad decisions. And so, last year I took that time to begin to fix myself. I got a lot of success and things that we're doing. It's a big ball, but I got a great team around me that when I drop the ball, Jessica jumps in there, she picks it up and runs with it. And that's the power of having a team. So I began to look at myself and say, well, I don't want to be this way because I see the things I'm losing. I see the opportunities I'm losing. And there's a whole nother level. So, I woke up one morning and God spoke to me and God said, don't procrastinate on God. And meaning that there's purpose in things that I have in my life to do. So I started writing the book, and that's what the title of the book is, Don't Procrastinate on God, the Wealth Kingdom Mindset. And so it's sort of written on for an entrepreneur level of thinking about how do I get out of this procrastination when I know I'm better than what I'm doing. And I began to, that became my book. So it just came out a few weeks ago. And the title is Don't Procrastinate on God. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's scripture, but so now I'm working on 3 books at once. And you got to be bold when you do that. but they're all about the same thing. They're about, so now once you end procrastination, what's the next step? The next step is learning how to focus. So one book is titled Be Focused. The other book is titled Be Focused in Life. And one of them is for a life book. One of them is for a business book. So I'm working on now improving my sales skills. I've got financial goals. So the third book is called Focus Sales. So, so everything I'm working on, I'm doing. So everyone, we're saying that to say, what is it in your life you want to fix, you want to become better at, you want to become an expert. So that's the way that you really want to do that. And Grandmaster Murray, again, we really do appreciate and really respect, what you're doing. And again, we thank you for sharing your journey in the martial arts. Do you have any future books or things you're planning?
So, there's another book in the works. I realized that after publication, there's a lot of stories that didn't make it in. And again, standing up in front of class, teaching, they're valuable lessons that I think need to be shared. But like you, I got multiple things going on. There's, one of my passions is running. And you were talking about bowling just a minute ago, writing a book on bowling. I've been a runner, since I was in my 20s. And I've kind of hit the point in my life where running is a little more challenging. I have some knee injuries and things that are preventing me from doing it. But there's so much of a mental focus and, so many benefits you can get emotionally, mentally from running, as well as the physical. I have also talked about doing something like that and getting into running a little bit, but that's a little bit on the back burner, not right in the near future. So, possibly. But locally, I'm actually getting ready to move. I'm moving down your way.
Oh, okay.
We're leaving the upstate region, my wife and I, and so I just sold my school here to one of my students. He's taken over and carry on the legacy here locally, and we're going to go down North Carolina and try to open another one.
Wow. Well, let me know where you guys are going to be, and I'll be more than happy to introduce you to some people and tell you about some good events. A really great group of martial artists, all over North Carolina. So no matter where your section you're moving to, then they're really great martial artists. We're more than happy to give you an introductory to some of these people.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So what advice would you give martial artists or others considering to write a book?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago, and it's that you got to start by writing the ideas down. Everybody's got a story to tell. There's something inside that really needs to be heard, and it can benefit other people, even if you don't think it can. Jot it down, start writing about it, and before you know, like you said, once you develop that outline and start putting it on paper, you realize that you do have a really valuable story that should be shared. And I would say just go for
it. You're exactly right. I really, when I start interviewing someone about, writing process, I always start with your why. Why are you going to write a book? What is the outcome that you want to have from, writing a book? So everyone, if you're thinking about, I just want to get my message out, that's one level of writing a book. If you're saying, well, I want to use my book to influence my business, I encourage martial artists to write a book, because now as a published author, now when someone goes to your website, they're reading your black belt credentials and they see that you are a published author, then that gives them, that creates another level of interest on that person. Or if you are, writing a book and you have an idea or a concept that a lot of people want to know, then that's a great book to monetize. And to monetize, that means that your book is now creating a revenue for you. It's an international bestseller. People not just reading your book here in the U.S., but they're reading your book in Australia. They're reading your book in Canada. They're reading your book in the UK. So think about, there's basically 3 levels of books that you want to be able to use. And the same thing about magazine marketing, because magazine marketing is a very powerful tool. The written word is still a very powerful tool, for you. So, any final words from you, sir?
I think make sure you get your information down on paper. Make sure you start to tell your story, and get the message out there. Everybody has something to say. And I like to read in my spare time. I really pick up everything. I listen to you talk about your books. I think sometimes it just takes a little bit of spark, somebody talking about it, just to say, "Hey, I want to pick that up. I want to listen to that or learn that too." So why not? And I think it's a great opportunity for anybody to do it. And if there's one thing you take away from today's show is that martial arts is for everybody. There's so many benefits, and I hope you pick up the book and read all about all the benefits that I've had over the course of my life. But it all takes putting on the pajama like clothes and walking in that first day and feeling a little awkward and sticking with it. And that's the hard thing with anything in life, right? You got to stick with it.
Well, that's very true. And everyone, remember, go to Amazon, get your copy of the book. So remember, everyone has a story, and Elite Publications is here to help you to be able to tell your story. And if you're an author and you'd like to be on our program, to become an author program, then let us know. We have our author magazine probably coming out at the end of March. And that is the Take Center Stage magazine, where we feature authors in the magazine. Don't forget, check out my new book. Well, I have two new books, and we just finished the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors book, and that is a great book, especially the history of martial artists. But the martial artists are based around Sifu Alan Goldberg's event, the largest event in the world, and that is the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors event book. So you can go to Amazon, get that. Again, Google my name is the easy way, JESSIE BOWEN, Jessie Bowen, and get a copy of that book. And we have several books on Audible, so you can do the same thing. My new book is out, Don't Procrastinate on God. That's actually an Audible book. I think it's a great listen to, and it's a great read. So remember, check it out. We're here to help you tell your story. We think it's very important that if you've got a message, then share it with the world, because your message may change someone else's life. Everyone, this is Jessie Bowen, and I'm here with Grandmaster Murray. And remember, check his book out. We're excited. Now, we're going to be posting about his book. So remember, like and share. I'm out of here. Be blessed.
Thank you.